What are the most creative truth dares you have witnessed at a game of Todd? Dare. Flirt with recipient's crush in the corniest way possible. Guy tried so hard to be corny it came off just sweet and funny enough they actually went on dates after. Task failed successfully. Call your mom and tell her you love her. Nothing inherently weird about it, but calling your mom at 11 PM gets a decent reaction every single time. Go to a cashier with a pack of condoms and not enough money. Go put the condoms back when you realize you don't have enough money, then return to the same cashier with rubber bands and plastic wrap. LOL, this is pretty hilarious. Dare. Pee your pants right now. The gal did it, too, on command and without shame. We were all under 16 and dead sober. Fair play, mama ain't raised no pee. Not game of truth or dare, but punishments for losing beer pong. Guy A lost to Guy B. A's punishment was that he had to go outside, pull down his pants, and sit his bare butt in the snow for 20 seconds. I challenged him to a rematch and won. B's punishment was that he had to go outside and shove his face in the snow butt print. That's what I call the ultimate payback. Back in the early 2000s they dared my friend who was pretty drunk to throw his cell phone out of the window at the 4th floor. He did it. We went downstairs in disbelief, put the pieces of the phone back together and worked just as good as new. I guess you all know what brand it was. Nokia forever. Dared a roommate to call his dad and tell him he got the other roommate pregnant. Was a great call. Dad was very supportive and just asked questions. At the end of the call, he copped to it. Seriously? Thank God. Best news I've had all day. Love your son. I'm gonna go have a drink now. Bye. Not the most creative, but at least it was different than the usual. I got dared to run the bases naked at a park near my friend's house over the summer at a sleepover. I had to slide. Sliding with baseball pants is easy. You glide into home. Sliding wearing your birthday suit is painful and causes road rash on your side butt. I should have taken truth. Played 30 plus years of baseball. No way I'm sliding without protection. Grass or shale? Wet grass maybe. Wet shale is a death sentence. Go find someone and convince them to join the game. It has to be a stranger. This is a fun one if you're in a bar, or a park, a beach or a street corner where people come to drink like I used to hang out at back when I was young. It opens up the group to new people. Some people don't like to be bothered, but you can move on pretty quick. And when you find someone to join in, it's just making new friends and usually a good time. Plus it's a good excuse to talk to that attractive guy girl over there. This is my favorite one in the whole thread and I don't know why it's not getting more love. My 5-yo niece said to her 10-yo sister, 5-yo, truth or dare? 10-yo, truth. 5-yo, truth is, you're a wine bag. She missed the main point of truth or dare, but laid down a sick burn. This is a 100% 5-year-old thing to do. They're way smarter than you realize but also still dumb at the same time. Dared to go up to a random house and use their bathroom. Lucky them, the guy happened to be awesome and they ended up hanging out. Kind of funny. Still send each other Christmas cards. Years ago one of my old friends from high school started dating this dude and a whole bunch of them were playing Never Have I Ever and her new boyfriend's buddy was up, looks at this guy, smiles and says, never have I ever had a threesome involving my dad and my mom's best friend, and the friend's new boyfriend said, you son of a b, and took a drink. Well, I have no words for this one. Truth question my friend used, and it stick to me as the answers to it are so cool. Question: what if you are at a party and everyone is dressed as a furniture piece? What kind of furniture piece would you dress up as? Casting couch. Cabin in the woods over Christmas week. Outside in a hot tub. 6 inches of snow on the ground and snow still falling. Dared my wife, who was and still is the biggest wimp when it comes to cold weather, to run around the cabin, as in outside, naked and barefoot. She actually did it, and then uncreatively dared me to do it. Turns out when your feet have been warmed to 104°F, that it isn't too bad as long as you spend only 60 seconds or so doing it. Had a very bold friend. Dared him to go get everyone beers. Earlier that night someone was dared to throw them on the roof. My caveat was it had to be in a way I could never expect. Mother sucker called the fire department, and as we were trying to explain what was going on and why they shouldn't charge us for a phony emergency call, he climbed on top of the truck and used it as a platform to leap onto the roof. Then he got firefighters to help him back down. Freaking mad lad. Was playing with friends and my crush was there too. Now the thing is, another one of my friend had a crush on same girl. I got dare and all the rest of my friends dared me not to play with them and go somewhere else. I don't talk to them now. Good riddance to bad friends. My friend dared me to go outside and sell a spoonful of cinnamon to the first person I saw. It was 2 AM and I still did it. Took me like 30 minutes to find someone because our streets are completely empty during the night. This had me in tears. Just hilarious. A friend got dared to take a pull-up diaper from her kid brother's room and wear it, then keep it on either for the rest of the night or until she peed in it. To everyone's shock, she decided to pee herself in it. Girl was ruthless. My favorite dare is I dare you to order me a pizza. My favorite truth is who here have you thought about while masturbating? I dared someone to lick a toilet seat once, and he did it. The next person to partake chose dare, and their dare was to French kiss the guy who had licked the toilet seat. I feel like stuff like this is how we'll get the next pandemic. Dumb, simple, but horrible. Eat a whole piece of white sliced bread that's soaked in water. If you don't know, frick around and find out. This actually happened to me at a New Year's party. I was dared to jump on an uncarpeted door frame, if you don't know, the bottom of which are covered in sharp caltrop-like tacks. Needless to say, I used my one pass on it. Whoever dared you, this is butthole. 3 AM. Girl got dared to call her parents' house. This was in college, and only say and continue to repeat the saying peace in the Middle East. We assumed her mom or dad would just hang up. But no. Not only did they not hang up, they straight panicked. Thought she was on drugs and had lost her mind. In her defense, she never broke character. They showed up on campus the next day to take her home. It took some convincing and everyone who was at the party telling them that she was fine and it was all a joke before they backed off. But I am pretty sure they had a mental health center appointment all set up for her already. I mean, props to the parents for taking their child's mental health so seriously though. When I was in college we played truth, dare, double dare, or promise to repeat. I'm a dude, and a girl picked promise to repeat, so I promptly took off my shirt. Should have taken off your bra, too. A girl was dared to kiss me. She refused and stopped playing because she didn't want our first kiss to be so meaningless. No idea who she was. Dare. For the rest of the night, you must no longer speak using any form of the verb to be. So, is, am, was, were, are, among others, no longer in your vocabulary, including contractions. You can't say I'm since it's just I am. They basically turn into a caveman. That's so funny. I hungry. What this? It is one of the most memorable dares I've witnessed. Best one I've seen yet. I had to let a girl cup my balls in her hand once. Not sure who dared me to do that, but ended up getting laid, so it was cool. You must have nice balls. Was spending a night at a campground while scoping out a town I was soon to be moving to when an attractive girl walked up to me and very dramatically pretended to need a light for a cigarette. While asking, "Hey sailor, wanna light my fire?" I responded with "What the frick?" and she ran back over to the only other occupied campsite laughing. She came back a bit later and admitted they were playing truth or dare. I ended up getting laid that night and dating her casually for a year or two after making the move. Imagine the dating part was also a dare. My daughter at 5 years old said truth or dare at an ice cream stand and I hesitated. She said chicken, of course not. Go pick that man's nose. She now knows how to beat me at that game forever. Holy crap, what a dare. Get inside this icebox and stay in there while someone sits on it. I did, because I was too young to realize that I could have died. Was more annoyed when I was dared to kiss someone's naked butt. I'd have gone back into the cooler. My mom freaked out for good reason when I told her about that slumber party years later. I'm just here to see if there's any fun ones. I remember playing in middle school. It was always "K dare you to kiss such and such," or "Do you have a crush on such and such?" I had a friend that developed late, So in middle school he still looked young and everyone kissed but him and he was so upset. I felt bad for him. He asked me if he was ugly and I tried cheering him up. He wound up growing a lot and got pretty buff and handsome. Happy for him. All this is his villain origin story, bulking up on steroids as revenge and is currently plotting to take over the world. I believe the one I remember most was we had a girl draw a mustache on her butt and sing a musical number in a French accent while pretending her butt was her mouth. It was a cute butt too, even with the mustache. We happened to have one of those on the go squeeze pouches filled with applesauce. That applesauce ended up getting squeezed up someone's nose. A delicious midnight snack, if you ask me. Played with a group of friends and I dared a brother and sister to hook up, thinking it would end the game so we could do something else. Surprisingly everyone else jumped on it, started cheering them on. They went deep into second base in front of the group. We were all teens. It was awkward. Their reasoning was it was just skin. Played with a group of friends and I dared a brother and sister to hook up. They went deep into second base in front of the group. We were all teens. It was awkward. Their reasoning was it was just skin. The consequences of your own actions. It was a dare, but it was planned. My sister was pregnant but she didn't tell her husband yet. Test was only a few hours old. We decided to gather all friends and do a pizza party and play some Todd to reveal it. When it was her turn, the dare was, I dare you to tell your husband. Well, things went from laughing to happiness. The little kid is now 8 years old, and she's lovely. I totally became the loving uncle. My friends and I don't party the way most people party. We just all gather around a pentagram painted on a lazy Susan and make dares and then spin it. Then the person who it points to, it's a goat head, has to do the dare. Some favorites from over the years we started this in college include, shirts are, you have to put on all the shirts in the room, so everyone strips except for one person who is smothered in shirts. Lick the tongue of the person with the closest birthday to you. Reverse hot seat. You ask a question that everyone in the room has to answer but you don't. Egg. An infamous Easter party in which all the dares centered around plastic Easter eggs nobody was allowed to open. The worst was baby birding the eggs around the circle, passing mouth to mouth, and fitting as many in your mouth as possible. But when they were finally opened, people were horrified to find seeds, those plastic babies, and those super realistic teeth for dentists to practice on. Sock resting. Two people wrestle until one is able to remove the other's sock. Eating a bite of a fruit cake someone found under a bed from months earlier. See how much brownie you could fit in your mouth. Make out with someone's elbow. Holy crap, I wanna party with you guys. We were playing around 2-3 am a few years ago and we told a friend to like and comment the pictures of a girl he hooked up with 2 years before then. And only the pictures in the pregnant album that she had. She was already married when he did it. Lmao. Throw the cow into the lake. Where I live in California there's a restaurant that has a life-sized plastic cow on its roof, so it's kind of tradition for teens like us to go and place it somewhere around town or just vandalize it. The restaurant doesn't really care just as long as you're not caught. The police also don't care about anything you do if you're not caught. I was dared to eat a spider once when I was 17 or so. The dare was inspired by someone noticing a spider on the wall in the basement we were playing in. I did it. I don't regret it, but the girl I was interested in at the time was there and she has an extremely severe arachnophobia. She was so freaked out she wouldn't look at or speak to me after that for months. I sympathize with the girl. Truth to girl, I barely knew who the best person she ever fricked was in front of her current boyfriend and her answer was, they left shortly after. Mustard body shots and dong and balls in a hollowed out watermelon while running around the room have been top ones I've witnessed. My cousin once dared my other cousin to stand in the corner, facing away, until they were called upon again. They were never called upon again. That's not really creative, just mean. Back in sophomore year of college, I was at a party and was being a bit obnoxious. We had a game of truth or dare going on, and I was dared to leave, so I did. As I left the dorm building, I had a chance encounter with a girl I had liked since freshman year, and started talking with her a bit. We ended up going on a walk. and staying up for most of the night just chatting led to us dating for a little bit, but unfortunately did not work out in the end. One of my favorite memories from college for sure. Dare to end whatever the person says within my butt made for an interesting giggle. Example: John, it's your turn next in my butt. I wasn't there, but I called my brother and it went to voicemail, and turns out someone dared him to let someone else record his voicemail message. I love it. I think that's a great one. A dare to ask a neighbor to borrow an ice cube. It was from a Todd game, and at 11 years old it was pretty funny to watch someone do. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.